ventriloquist, I'm a reenactor. And for 36 years in the classroom, I tried to bring history to life by dressing the part in the garb of the period, garb, not costumes, and bringing in stuff that my students could handle, because being able to touch things always made it more real for me. And I would immerse them in the music of the time period and basically create a soundtrack for history. And as I said, did it for 36 years. Well, I'm not in the classroom anymore, but I still have all this garb at the house. It fills an entire room, plus it kind of spills into other rooms. And I still have this passion for bringing the past to life. That's why I'm involved in historical reenactment on the weekends. And I have this desire to preserve landmarks because I've seen landmarks go away. I also like to play history detective. So what I'm doing today is I am leaving Mission San Juan Bautista, and I'm heading towards Mission Santa Cruz. And actually, I've already done this once. It's just that I have too much information that would fit into one video, so I'm on my way back. And I hope you stick with me on my journey. Some of the Padres kind of seem to enjoy the discipline part. There was a Padre, Andres Quintana, and he was known for using an iron-tipped whip to punish various neophytes. And in October of 1812, he was found dead. And there was a cursory examination of his body, and there seemed to be no natural or unnatural signs at first, that were noticed. So they assumed he's dead, and it's natural causes. Well, a couple of years later, there's talk around the mission, around the neophytes, of no. Some of the neophytes took care of Padre Quintana, and what ended up happening is his body gets re-examined. So you're looking at the first autopsy in California, and it was discovered, no, he didn't die naturally. What's interesting is I read 3 different accounts of this, and there were 3 different causes of death. One was he was strangled. Oh wait, there was 4. One was he was strangled. One was he was clubbed in the back of the head, which I would have figured they would have noticed that. I would have figured they would have noticed the strangulation. One was he was suffocated, and then I read one account where he was poisoned. And the neophytes that were accused, and there were like 7 of them, started off with like 20 and they got down to 7. They were claiming a defense of, he was a jerk, he was mean, he was cruel. And the governor couldn't find any evidence of it, so he ordered them severely flogged, which is really ironic. But now, by this point, a quarter of the neophyte population's gone. They don't want anything to do with the mission. Okay, so this is another example of how the Pueblo of Branciforte helped contribute to the fall of Mission Santa Cruz. In November and December of 1818, the notorious pirate Hippolyte Bouchard was threatening the coast of Alta California. And the first place he landed was at Monterey, right across the bay from Santa Cruz. And what Governor Sola had already ended up doing. He received word. He put the presidios, the 4 presidios, on high alert. Get ready, this is going to be bad. He warned each of the missions to hide your valuables, hide your stuff, get to safety, take the livestock with you. In some instances, in some places, some of the neophytes were being trained as sepoys to help support the soldados to fight if necessary. And Bouchard does end up landing over at Monterey, as I said, and he burns the Presidio to the ground because it wasn't even remotely a fair fight. 43 soldados versus 340 men on these 2 ships. Of course, not everyone's getting off the ships. There's 52 guns, so it's not even remotely a fair fight. And the Presidio is burning. And now we come back to Mission Santa Cruz. Well, the Padres at Santa Cruz, particularly Padre Olbes, he asked the people of the Via of Branciforte, we're going to split, we're going to hide. Can you pack up the mission stuff and hide that? And he said, yeah, we could do that. Well, what they ended up doing is instead they looted the mission. They apparently got into the stores of wine and brandy and drank those and had themselves a good time. They set fire to stuff and they caused all this destruction that the pirates were, and people imagine the pirates are going to be doing. By the way, Bouchard does burn the Presidio of Monterey to the ground, except for the chapel or the Cathedral of San Carlos. He tells us, guys, leave that alone, stop. And then he moved on south. He never came this way. But the people of the Pueblo of Branciforte caused such destruction and left the mission destitute that Padre Olbes was so discouraged. He was ready to scrap the whole thing and write this off, and he wanted to leave. And Padre Lasso told him, oh no, you're staying. You're going to keep running this. And he did. After an 11-year struggle for independence against Spain, New Spain achieved that independence finally and became at first the Empire of Mexico and later the Republic of Mexico. Although Alta California was part of this new country, Mexico did not have enough money to support the 21 missions there. Also, some Mexicans believed that the missions were too connected to Spain and that the treatment of the neophytes was harsh and outdated. In 1834, after only 43 years of existence as a mission, Mission Santa Cruz was secularized. It was reduced to a parish church, and the animals were sold off or stolen. And between that year and 1845, the lands which stretched from the San Lorenzo River to the northern border of modern-day Santa Cruz County were given away as land grants by various governors, like 11 ranchos. There were 4 main ones, and then there were other ones, but now the lands are being given to men of standing. And part of that was the good old boy system. They were getting rewards because they fought on the right side in the war for independence against Spain. And by the way, Via de Branciforte, it's not really going to escape the secularization thing either. It'll become the town of Santa Cruz. During that time, like in 1840, the bell tower of the church also ends up collapsing, and other damage will be happening. But pretty much the mission era is at an end. Following abandonment after secularization, a series of earthquakes, and tidal waves, the old church building collapsed in 1857, and treasure seekers completed the work of demolition. Roof beams and tiles, as well as foundation stones, were carried away for other uses, and no trace of the original mission remained. A painting based upon details provided by the locals shows us what the mission looked like. The 35 adobe structures on Mission Hill, which had been the core of the mission settlement, became the nucleus of the early pueblo of Santa Cruz, so gradually converted to commercial uses. In 1858, a modern wooden church was erected where the mission church once stood. In 1859, President James Buchanan returned property to the Catholic Church. And 30 years later, the tall, white Holy Cross Church with high steeples was built near the site of the original mission. Facing the same original plaza, which is now a park, a well-executed, smaller, one-third scale replica of the 1795 Mission Church was erected in 1931. That's 16 missions down. 16 missions accomplished. 7 asistencias, a couple of estancias, and 3 presidios. So now it's on to Mission Santa Clara, and I hope you stick with me.